welcome to another Fight of the Night review. This was for the fight of the night between Kennedy and Nzechukwu against Carlos Ulberg, and it took place last night at the UFC Apex Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I want to apologise very quickly before I do get on with the actual review. So, I was planning to get my Just Cause 4 video review out. I actually shot the video for it, but I had some issues, and with my video editing software, and I thought, okay, maybe it's just a weird thing, so I cleared the cache, and then later as a result, accidentally, not as a result of clearing the cache, I was just trying to clear some stuff from my files, and one of those files was the video itself, so I'm going to have to reshoot it, and hopefully the next time I do reshoot it, my editing software won't be as much of a pain in the arse, and I really hope that's not a pain in the arse when I get this video put together and put it up, so, yeah. Regardless, the fight we had was on the early prelim card. It was a light heavyweight bout, and it's not often that you see the bigger weight classes get a fight of the night bonus, but the fight we got, turns out, was actually quite good, so I'm going to go on with it. So, as always, we start with round that many, and Carlos gets a really good start right off the bat. He's opening up on Kennedy with a good couple of combos, and yes, I'm going to keep calling Kennedy Kennedy because his surname is very difficult to pronounce, and I'm not even going to bother. So, Carlos opens up on Kennedy with some really good combos, and that eventually lands a head kick right over the shoulder, and that rocks Kennedy. And Carlos follows it up with a big bunch of punches, has Kennedy against the cage, throwing a lot of shots, uppercuts, clipping it with some lefts. He does throw another head kick in the middle of his combo, which Kennedy catches, tries to turn that into a takedown, but Carlos turns around and rolls over. Kennedy sort of has his back, but Carlos manages to get back on his feet quite easily. And most of round one is sort of... most of round one goes to Carlos, I will admit. He does manage to keep landing some good combos, but it's sort of evident after he lands that opening flurry, he's sort of a bit gassed out, like he's a bit tired going forward. He's still landing some heavy shots, but it's more apparent as the round goes on. Kennedy is landing some of his own, though. He's landing some really good combos. He's doubling up on his left, which is really good. He's landing some good counter hooks, but he's mostly just headhunting. He's mostly focusing on the head, whereas Carlos was mixing it up a lot, especially sort of in the midway to later points in round one, where he had Kennedy against the cage again and was winging body shots at him, just going straight for the stomach. A lot of damage to it. He went for some good leg kicks too and threw a good couple of kicks to the body, but it was mostly his body shots and his punches to the face that were his saving grace in round one. And that is why I give it to Carlos in round one. And of course that wouldn't matter by round two, because Kennedy would win by knockout at 3 minutes and 19 seconds in. So I'll explain how we get to that point. So, Carlos is a bit trepidatious in continuing the assault. He was leading against Kennedy early because he was a bit tired. Even with the 1 minute's rest between rounds, he was still a bit tired. I said tired twice. I could have knackered, that's the word I wanted to say. But Carlos does open up with some good shots. However, Kennedy is clearly landing a bit more. There's a moment where they're both in an exchange, and Carlos accidentally clips his finger against Kennedy's eye, and Kennedy sort of like turned his back and signaled to the referee, it was Dean, and was like, no, carry on. And because Kennedy turned his back to the opponent, which is not a good thing to do, then Kennedy got a thumb to the eye not long after that, and then Herb Dean mercifully stopped the fight for a little bit while Kennedy recovered from the eye poke. The action leading up to that was quite good, but it was a bit slower than round one. Carlos kept up his pacing from round one a little bit. He was still a bit tired. Kennedy was landing a lot more counters though. Not long after they got back from the eye poke though, Kennedy just went for it. He was landing, opening up a flurry on Carlos, landing a really good bunch of shots. Eventually he manages to get Carlos against the cage and clips him right on the chin with a beautiful right hook that knocks him down, finishes it with a bunch of strikes, and that's your lot. Kennedy wins by knockout. So, all in all, I think this might be one of my favourite fights of 2021 so far. As a rule, I'm not really a big fan of fight of the nights that end in finishes, especially if they're knockout finishes, because it feels like it has to be earned. I really enjoyed this one though, and I thought Kennedy sort of had an underdog story throughout this fight, because for one thing, Carlos is the training partner of Israel Adesanya, who was in the main event of this card. So a lot of the focus was behind him, and Carlos had never lost before this point. But the fact that Kennedy was not only able to hand him his first loss and knock him out, his loss, not lost, and knock him out, and weather that storm, that absolutely brutal, vicious flurry in round one, and weather most of round one because he was really on the back foot for it. The fact that he managed to come back and win in round two was pretty damn cool. It was like a good sort of reverse thing, and it's not something you see too often in MMA, especially when it comes to fights that end in finishes as a rule, but this was a lot of fun. It could maybe be in my top 10 of the year. It's, once again, still early, but I did like this one, especially considering that it's the second largest weight class in the UFC and MMA in general, really. Yeah, this was really good, and Kennedy, he showed up, he weathered that storm, he managed to knock out Carlos with a really clean-looking right hook. So, yeah, eventually his headhunting did pay off. I feel like Kennedy should try and mix it up a bit more when I next see him, but for what he managed to achieve, he took some heavy shots, he kept going, and he got the win, so can't really complain about that. And that will about do it for the actual review. The next thing you're likely to see me for will be tomorrow, hopefully. I might be able to get the very brief history of System of a Down out, because I've written the full episode now, so really looking forward to putting that out. The episode itself should come out on Tuesday, and then later on Tuesday, because Tuesday night I'll be streaming PBW vs AVW. Then some point in the week after that, I've got a Music of the Week episode to do. I really want to get this Just Cause 4 game review done as well, provided that my video editing software is not a pain in the dick. And I don't know what will be after that. I think my schedule might be clear. There might be another episode of Music of the Week. I might be able to get 2 out next week. And then obviously there'll be the Friday night gaming stream. And then who knows what's next. So yeah, I don't really have a lot else to say. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And as always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye.